Football DNA, we're back in the room.
I'm sorry for the viewers who missed us, mate. I mean, how did they do?
I don't know, it feels like ages, but we're back. We're back to talk about all things Arsenal because they're the best team in the world, right?
Wow. For the Arsenal fans, isn't it?
Right, so let's just jump straight in because we've been missing out on all this good content. So I watched the game on the weekend and I think maybe Emery is starting to show that he is a high caliber manager. Ask me why.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you why, mate.
I'll tell you why. No, only because he started, like I said, for the first time. Put it up front, number 9. Put Aubameyang on the wing, which we know that's probably the right shape. And they both scored, which I thought vindicated that decision. He played Torreira for the first time, which I think was the right choice.
Everyone's been calling out for that.
Now to just give him that chance.
Yeah.
And he played well. And I kind of feel like I'm starting to think like he didn't play him against in the Europa League, and I was thinking I could see Lacazette was on the sideline, not happy, and I was thinking, do you know what? Where I'm cussing him for not playing him, I think he secretly wants to keep him fit for the league.
Oh, he has to,
right? And I think he knows that this is my number 9, and I'm gonna. And
he's come out now, Lacazette, and shown that, you know what? I am that guy who everyone was talking
That's
about.
What I'm saying,
last season was a bit shady. I think this season he's been.
That goal was fire.
You know,
I'm not being funny. That goal was badass.
Brilliant.
Like if Messi did it, Ronaldo did it, if Salah did it, if anyone badass did it, we'd still be talking about that goal.
Yeah, that was a goal just draped in quality. You know, like he had already scored before the ball came to him. The touch, the finish, it was just like of a supreme finisher.
Class, like he was just like, I know where the goal is, and it was like he almost knew as he hit it, this is in.
Yeah,
I've smashed this in the top corner. I do this in training every day. Game. Yeah, and I just was happy with that. He got a goal, a good quality goal, and also Aubameyang scored. And even if his goal was a bit scrappy, what I like about Aubameyang is that he's one of those like, I turn up at the right place. My goals, like ironically, when he came, everyone thought he's going to score these pretty goals. But ironically, is that he's scoring goals that are tap-ins, little scrappy things. And it's like because he's there. He's like he's a little fox in the box at times. That although he's not a number 9, but he kind of plays like it when he gets inside the box. When he gets inside the box, he's totally like a little Ian Rush.
He starts to.
He's like Mike Owen. I smell stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's working for him is having this position for Aubameyang of coming into it like. Arsenal aren't the team on top, like in terms of they know the only way to get results is to listen to this manager because otherwise it's not going to work. And they've got a new man in charge. He's got authority, ideas, patterns of play, and we're seeing the results in the fact that he's playing out on the left. He's not whinging about it. He's getting stuck into the role and doing really well. His
goal record, actually, since he came to the club in January, he's actually got a really good return. You know, so I've got to give him credit for just, you know, bearing in mind, most new players come to the league, doesn't matter how good you are, there's an adjustment. Well, Aubameyang's actually come in and kind of just scored goals from day one. Now, again, if he was at Man City or if he was at Man United or even Liverpool, I think we'd be probably giving him a little bit more respect. I think where he's at a team that aren't, let's be honest, Arsenal aren't up there. They're not the top side. We're kind of underestimating how good he's really done. That's what I think.
You're absolutely right because the fact of the matter is Arsenal are not flavour of the month anymore.
No.
And anything they do is sort of like, it isn't spoken with that joyous conviction of others.
Exactly.
And even Aubameyang's goal, Lacazette's goal at the weekend. I thought it was a goal of the weekend. It was such a beautiful, and it was almost like, good goal. But no, that's a goal of a really top class striker. So that was great, and you guys are definitely. Well, you lost your first 2 against City and Chelsea, but you've won every game since then. You're on level points with Tottenham, above Man United. These are teams that were supposed to be, leagues above you, and you're going to struggle to.
We've got a bit of a good run because even before the league started, we knew we had those tough 2 games, but we knew we had 10 games after that we should go and win, or potentially go and win. Now, don't get me wrong, against Everton, you see the defensive frailties. We are in trouble still defensively. You almost know when we come up against good opposition, we're in trouble. We play Tottenham and I think United back to back in game 11 and 12, I think it is, or 10 and 11, whatever way round it is. And that'll be a real test because, like when we started the season against City and Chelsea, we almost knew we were going to lose. And I'd be a bit doubtful in those games, even against United, because our defensive, we leak. Like if you look at the Everton game. We conceded too many chances.
There was a couple moments.
No, but it's too easy. Like we're letting the opposite. Now Everton are one of the better sides. They're a top end side. If anything, I'd be shocked if they're not in the top 8. You know, I don't think
they're going to make it. To be honest.
No, well, I'm going on paper. Quality of squad, quality of manager.
Yeah, they've got a few players.
You know, I think they've got a long season to go, and I think I'm expecting them to kind of, if they perform, to get into that sort of into the top 10, certainly maybe the top 8 if, maybe that's the best they can do. But what I'm saying is they're one of the better sides in the league. And as soon as we play a team that's like that, we're in trouble. Like we concede too many chances. But the better the side, they punish you more. So like when we play Liverpool, if they create 6 fucking chances in the first half, they're probably going to score most of them.
Sure.
And this is the problem we get. And I think Tottenham will cut us up, cut us open. Don't think we're going to be able to, so it's like, well, we might get some goals the other end. I think that's our only hope. But that's the same as what it was like under Wenger. And that's my only annoyance about the current situation.
It's so hard to...
Cheers, by the way.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I think it's so
hard...
hard...
recording, but it's okay. Elon Musk smoked the spliff, so we can drink beer.
Fact of the matter is, you're looking at it and saying, where are those centre-halves that you can buy for a decent price? Look at what we spent, Liverpool. We had to spend upwards of 60 million on Van Dijk to get a centre-back of like actual immense quality.
Yeah, world class.
I mean, it's hard to find them, especially when they know you're desperate. The price goes up. On to Liverpool. I mean, since our last broadcast, we had the Tottenham on the Saturday, and we managed to beat them quite comfortably at Wembley, which is really good performance in terms of just getting the result. I remember we had a conversation, and you were saying Liverpool weren't at their best. They wasn't, and to be honest, they haven't been. And that's the thing that's exciting me as a Liverpool fan. We haven't been at our best, and we're still winning against opposition who would normally give us trouble.
So we know how to grind out the result.
Which is something we'd unheard of before.
But it's that's how champions roll. Like that's the sign of a champion. Like you Arsenal for many years we used to see them do it. They not play well. Other team get at them, concede loads of chances. But they score 3 goals and won 3-2 and things like that. And you're like, oh, that was a bit one-sided. It shouldn't have played out like that. But when you've got the quality, you do tend to score goals. Liverpool got bags of goals in them.
Yeah, but we marked Kane out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have a big... I know he's having a tough time at the moment, but, our back four shut him down. And again, against Paris Saint-Germain, against, 3 of the best attackers in the world, we limited them. I mean, they're really good players. I mean, they haven't quite had the midfield that they wanted to have, the little midfielder, diminutive guy, Verratti, beautiful footballer. I enjoy watching this guy play. Absolute controller, wasn't playing. When I heard that, I thought we had a chance because Paris Saint-Germain, they've just, we're used to winning. They can win matches, and they've got these beautiful players who can just execute moments. And we limited their moments, and what a result against them as well.
Yeah, they were. I mean, my thing is with them, if I'm honest, is that. They're one of those teams, like, when I go back, remember 20 years ago, Real Madrid, when we were young, when we were teenagers, Real Madrid used to have teams, right? And at the time, Real Madrid were, not at the time when they had the best team in the world, but at times when they weren't quite the top side. But because they're Real Madrid, everyone used to always go, oh, it's Real Madrid. But half the time, they weren't the best side at all.
They weren't the Real Madrid
They weren't the Real Madrid of what we've known, like the Galacticos and the real top teams that we've seen in the past. Well, they have had those teams.
They were just Real Madrid.
They were just Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like with PSG. Yeah, they might have Neymar. They might have... a few other players, Mbappe and all that. But in my head, I'm like,
striker,
you look at them defensively, they are poor. They're poor age.
Do you know what? Having said that, I thought...
These mans don't defend.
Do you know what? I thought that was their strongest part of their game, right? Because although we had a lot of the game and a lot of the ball, they kept a good shape and we couldn't create that many chances against them.
But I think it'll be different when you play them again. I think you'll see a different team.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were kind of shocked because I think they keep saying they don't play teams who really, really put it on them for some reason. Where the French league is...
They were saying that. I just think they were saying that. The commentator was saying that. They're not used to playing this quality. No. They don't play against teams that are that good.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's nothing about how Liverpool play. Liverpool's by far the best team they would have played in probably the last year, or certainly that season.
Since probably the Champions League last year, whatever, kind of thing. Yeah,
right. So they are not used to playing that kind of opposition, no fucking way. And this Liverpool side happens to be one of the best Liverpool teams we've had in donkeys, and it's flying at the minute. So they're not prepared for that. And I actually think Liverpool a little bit reserved. I thought Liverpool being a bit conservative, not wanting to take any risks.
Well, look at the midfield we played. We played Milner, Henderson, and Wijnaldum.
Which I wasn't happy with. I was a bit annoyed because you could see it affected the play, and it affected the front three. It affected them getting ball from midfield to the attack.
Well, the front three was slightly changed because Sturridge was playing. Yeah. So we normally had the Firmino link, and Sturridge played, and he scored. But without the goal, he wasn't involved in the game because he's not that guy. He's not Firmino, is he?
No. But just looking at the lineup, like you said, with the midfield, the way the players they were playing in the midfield, it was defensive from Liverpool's point of view. Now,
but to be fair, to give respect to the opposition, because you cannot. I thought, first game in the Champions League, you can't go too open. You're respecting the fact that they've got these incredible attacking players, so you're going like solid in the midfield.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
I think you've got to do that away from home. You have to do that. I think that the Liverpool had no choice. I think it's the first game, like you said. But as a fan of football, you want to see a team go out there and give their best, the best account of them. Now, the best account of Liverpool isn't being defensive. It's like when, it's like what people at United aren't liking with United, because they're acting too defensive at times, and we don't want to see it. Like the best we've seen of Liverpool is not just playing with the front three. I don't just mean with the three guys, the little sexy triangle, but as a team, it is going for it. As in a team. Regardless of the personnel, the way they're set out is that they're trying to attack. They're going to go and win the ball high up the pitch, and it's very aggressive. It's very attacking. It's like full pelt. It's very direct. It's very fast. There's no shifting the ball around slowly. It's move it quickly up the pitch fast.
Conviction.
And catch them even on the counter as well, as quickly as you can.
With what personnel we had, I thought we did that. I thought we actually got forward well. We just had the steal, because all those three of them, they're real grafters. That's the same three who started the Champions League final. So it's like that kind of thing of like, all right, Keita's there, Fabinho's there, but it's like, you guys hold a seat, watch how we do it. And tonight we're playing Chelsea. Before tonight's game, Southampton on Saturday. Just a quick summary of that game. We beat them easy. It was really easy, Des. And I was thinking to myself, I'm actually bored. I'm going to watch. I'm going to get cut down by Liverpool fans, but I'm going to go and watch the Man United Wolves game, because I'm interested to see how Wolves are playing against. Because Liverpool 3 up at half time. Game was over. Yeah. It was actually boring.
That's how it used to be. Like, honestly, when I used to watch Arsenal play, I know I always say it, but that's what it used to be like. You were so superior to the opposition.
We're talking about Arsenal.
Well, I mean, I don't want to just go back to 98 or something, but because that would be too far.
No.
But many a season, even when.
I know
we didn't win, but certainly even in Henry's era of even back at the back end, like we used to still. Probably the days when you had the likes of Fabregas there.
Yes. Early Fabregas.
Sometimes like Edu. And we would just play, Pires and we would just play teams off, and it was just like, it wasn't a game.
No,
we could. It was almost like we were way too good for the opposition. Yeah. And even if we only won 2-0, they didn't have a kick.
No.
They didn't have a prayer.
It was 2-0.
They didn't have a chance. It was a 2-0 in game over. They didn't have a prayer from that first whistle. They literally were chasing shadows the whole time. And it was like that week in, week out. And even sometimes we didn't get a result. That team were lucky that they got a result. Like, even sometimes we'd lose to United,
You'd be kicking yourself because we should be like 6-0.
Yeah, like we'd lose to United.
And now it's like 1-1.
We'd lose to like United 1-0, and it was like we played them off the park. And it was like the bastards nicked the 3 points. And it was like, United were good at that. But even then, and that's why I think Fergie always used to respect Wenger, because he was like, your team just plays us off the park half the time. Like, we, on a footballing side, we often can't compete.
No.
We can nick results off you and get results off you, because defensively, you're probably a little bit vulnerable because of the style of football.
The way you play,
But as a 90-minute game of football, you're going to dominate, and we're going to have to accept.
We're going to look limited compared to you.
We're going to struggle to get the ball off you. You're going to dominate it, and if you really turn up, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're relying on you not quite turning up, us maybe getting in your face. That's why I used to have Roy Keane and all these players like trying to be disruptive.
Yeah, they had to do something to fuck up their mindset.
All they could do is disrupt us.
Yeah,
they had to. There was no other way. They had to be disruptive. They couldn't be disruptive in their play.
No.
Literally, they had to be disruptive everything else before the kick-off.
Yeah.
At half time, walking off the pitch, everything had to be disruptive to get into the mindset and try and fuck with them.
Yeah.
But on a footballing side, they couldn't compete. Like, lots of these teams, and what I'm seeing with Liverpool play with some of these teams can't compete. The teams aren't compete. There's a massive gap. But going back to PSG, I personally was disappointed because PSG. What I was disappointed with was that when Liverpool got the ball, they were static. There was a lack of movement, and that was down to the personnel. And I think they didn't want to take risks, and maybe that was just the tactics on the day. But I don't want to see that, because I don't think they'll win the Champions League playing like that.
Yeah,
and I think it doesn't matter that you're playing PSG. You'll play someone else in the second round, or you'll play someone who, like, I don't know, Juventus or somebody who's a top. All the teams in the Champions League are good sides. We know that. You'll play someone, but a top boy team, and you will think, right, we're away from home. Let's try and be conservative. It doesn't work. I think you've got to go out and do your thing.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I feel like when you're playing against certain teams, the thing is, if you shut them down, you win. And I think what we've done on that game, we literally shut down the playmaking abilities of Neymar's and such and such. Yeah, and we enabled us to win. I think we've got the more offensive player who doesn't quite, close down with that conviction. They may well, find their moments to be magical and creative. So I take that point going into the next game. But what the hell is happening with Man United?
Yeah,
what the hell is happening? I mean, did you see the game yesterday?
What I said.
What the hell?
Well, funny enough, because you know what the media are like. The media are funny because obviously Lampard going to Old Trafford, obviously having a good relationship with Mourinho, and it's like the writings on the wall when you get these little romantic moments in football. And obviously Lampard, he's a surprise one for me because I never thought he would get into management. And to be fair to the fucker, he's got fucking bagged himself quite a big club, and I don't know how he's done that because
contacts.
Fucking his dad, Harry fucking Redknapp, still wheeling and dealing in the market. You know what I mean? Got him, bagged him a job probably because I'm thinking if anyone was going to bag a top job, it was Gerrard. Yeah. So how Lampard's bagged himself a top boy little job. But anyway, needless to say, and they've started off quite well. But when I saw the draw, I thought, Old Trafford, Lampard, it's like the writing's on the wall. Yeah. And I kind of just felt before the game like I can see Derby getting a result. Now, it had nothing to do with Derby being better than United. I just thought, sometimes that's the way football goes. It was almost like they were going to win.
Also, must be the fact that United are just not playing well at the moment too. And the manager's under tremendous pressure. There's fractions, within the club that are just tearing itself apart almost.
I mean, I read something the other day on Sky Sports and it said, what's happened to Sanchez? They were saying this at the back end of last season, weren't they? What happened to Sanchez? And then apparently pre-season he piped up and was doing all right, and then he, first couple of games of the season I think they were saying he's done all right or he put in a good shift. But it's like no goals, ain't doing nothing.
He ain't scored in ages,
Getting subbed off, and you're like, actually, what has happened to Sanchez? Because since he went to United, that career's gone downhill.
I tell you what, he sold his soul. He sold his soul. Like at Arsenal, where he had the love of the people, and the way Arsenal played fed right into his being, and he was like the man.
Yeah, he was going to get lots of opportunities at Arsenal. Yeah. Like he was going to get lots of the ball, get lots of chances.
The way you guys played, suited him so much. So many touches on the
ball.
Now
he's scrapping around.
Touches on the ball. At United.
Now he's barely getting the ball. He's barely touching
the ball. United don't move the ball well. They don't move it quick enough to actually make him a danger.
No. But I just think sometimes you have players. I remember when Van Persie went to United, and the season he went to United, the last season at Arsenal, he had like one of his best seasons. And to the point that people were like, well, is he going to be able to reproduce that at United?
Yeah.
Because he's just, after all these years, had the pinnacle of his Arsenal career.
Whole season without injury.
Yeah, and he scored the most goals he'd ever scored at Arsenal, and it was almost like he had his best season after all those seasons.
So much
and everyone's thought there's almost like no chance of him reproducing that again.
Yeah.
And he did actually score more goals, and he was even better the following year.
Won the league, didn't he? That season?
Won the league, and he wasn't surprised he did that because he had such a good year. It was like once you get to that point, it's like you're comfortable. I remember who you are, but I just remember like he did that, and I look at Sanchez, but he had grinded it out in the Premier League for years. Van Persie, he'd grinded that out for years, so he knew the league inside out. My man had put in the shifts, the yards, the time, the years, the effort. Sanchez has come to the Premier League, and 5 minutes later he's become a greedy bastard, and he's gone to United for a big payday. And it's like football's got a funny way. The world's got a funny way of sort of like conspiring against you when you don't do the right thing. Like everyone knew you shouldn't have took that deal for the money. Now for Arsenal it was a great fucking deal. So I'm not going to lie, I would have sold that motherfucker because he was just a pain in the arse.
He became players anymore when they scored goals.
It was like, exactly. He was just a pain in the arse. You can imagine, like I read a story which I said before about the Arsenal players every Monday. One of the players apparently printed out the player stats and pinned it all around the changing room. So when they walked in, every Monday they would see his stats because his ball retention rate and his passing rates were so low compared to everyone else, and they constantly took the piss out of him. Because say everyone else was at 80%, he was at 20%.
Wow.
Right. And ironically, everyone's so interested in Sanchez's stats. They followed his stats from Arsenal being so bad. Ball retention. Completed passes. And everyone's so interested in those stats being so poor against the average in the team or in the league They followed those stats since he's been to United, and it's just as fucking bad.
Oh, shit.
And no one can fucking believe that. His stats are so bad. Now, in America, like when not just football but all sports, they analyse stats. Like we don't see it over here.
Yeah, they're very stat driven.
They are very stat driven. Now we are over here. Our football's become like that. I
think more so in the last sort of 5 years or so.
We've
gone stat mad, I think.
Well, we've gone like that over the years, like probably longer than that. But we don't see it as the fans. Inside the club, they are.
Yeah. Sure,
so if you think of player performance, the way they measure performance is based on lots of numbers. There's lots of number crunching done. Like we think someone's had a bad game, the manager's going, he's brilliant.
No, sure.
Right, because when the manager gets his stats, this is how deep it is. Manager goes into half-time team talk, right, and he's got stats on players. For the first half.
Yep.
There's people analysing the game for the first half, and they're getting their completed pass rate. So if the manager goes in, the manager gets a little sheet of stats, and when he goes in and sees that this fucker has got 50% completed passes, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because he ain't going to remember all those passes.
Yeah, sure.
But when he sees that the average is 70% and yours is like 40, he's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you know what I mean? You need to sort yourself out. It's fact, yeah. So these stats are important and they do affect what managers say, even at half-time.
And I think in connection with Sanchez, it's just clear from the way it's almost like he's fallen out of love with the game, you know, because he's at Manchester United, a club where a lot of players want to be. Yeah,
like you said, he sold his soul to the money. It's like the world's conspiring against you.
I mean, the thing is, I think he had to go based upon what happened. I think Arsenal's situation was just toxic and Wenger stuff, and he wasn't the only player.
Why didn't he go to City? Right.
Yeah, now it's true. But I think was City even ever on the cards?
City was because even on that All or Nothing, they talk about it. The chairman talks about getting Sanchez, and they would not pay him that money.
Right. The weekly.
Yeah, the weekly. Yeah. They would not. They said we're not doing it. It's not economically viable. He wanted too much, and they were like, no, we're not paying him that. Right. So he could have gone to a manager that knows him well. Yeah, probably had more love.
Yes.
Played in a team and a system that would have more suited him.
Loads of the ball.
Way would have got way more chances. Probably had more success.
Yeah.
But he then went to United. Made no sense. Like it was like putting a round peg in a square hole. It just wasn't the right fit ever. You know, Sanchez has gone to United. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
And then at the time, Rashford was doing really well.
Yeah.
Oh, Rashford sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Because that was a dick move.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Jose Mourinho, what the fuck? But that comes back to like the board have now signed this player. Or technical director, some bullshit, has signed this player, and now it's like you got to pay this motherfucker because commercially,
well, you have to,
and commercially, it was such a big show.
Yeah,
they want their money back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we're paying this dude money commercially. Advertisers are paying money. Sanchez.
South American market.
Yeah, and I just think like it was one of those signings where I just think it was all about money. That's why he's still playing. He'll play with a broken leg.
Well, recently he's been on the bench. I think the you're right about the marketing aspect of it, but I think it's come to a point now where, you know, that's been put aside and he can't play a man who's half dead. At the moment, he's half dead. He's not playing very well at all. You know, Rashford, he's still not getting a game. Now we've got the Pogba debacle with the whole situation where he came out on Saturday and basically said we need to attack more at home, which is basically indirectly having a go at Mourinho's tactics, saying we're not attacking and you know it's you because we know he's defensive and now his captaincy has been taken off him. Mourinho said, this guy will not be my captain or vice captain. That's a massive. I think
Mourinho's like a little kid. I think Mourinho suited Chelsea. Chelsea was by far his best team, purely on the basis that Chelsea were a small club, right? And Mourinho was a big show, right? As in he's a show off.
He was in a good place at that point, wasn't he?
It was the right club in that. The stature, the size, the type of club, it fitted. It was a great fit for Mourinho, and he had great success there in his first. Well,
the project was so young and.
I'm talking about when he first came to Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Man United. It wasn't this big club, you know, Liverpool, and had all this prestige and history and culture. Not like them clubs. So it made sense, and it worked. Put that same guy who's crass, doesn't quite have the class. Doesn't have the maturity, in my view. Put him at one of those clubs, people ain't going to be happy. And I can tell you now, the board ain't going to be happy. You know, even when like Mourinho came out and said, I think it was last season, that if they get rid of him, they're going to have to pay him a lot of money. Now, you know when your manager's saying that kind of stuff to the media, that club do not want to be hearing that shit publicly. That's the sort of shit will get you sacked.
Spit in the eye
but it's like, because they know football's played out in the public domain, they know that this guy's so outspoken, but at the same time, I think United I think the United powers that be, like the American owners, they're kind of like, look, he's just an entertainer. He's a big show. He's a show off. He talks shit, but he sells tickets. We sell our we sell our tickets for the stadium,
and they're doing great numbers.
I think it's a bit like that. These Americans understand show business, and I think they got Mourinho because they thought, look, he's show business. Let's get the fucking biggest guy in show business. Let's get the biggest guy in show business in football management in, because he is that guy, isn't he? But if you're a fan, so putting that aside, if you're a fan of, certainly if you're a Man United fan, and even neutral fans like us, where we just, they've got a great history, haven't they, United, and we look at it and go, man, that's some backward bullshit steps you're taking having someone like him, because he doesn't have that level of sophistication to hold that. Like Louis van der Gaal, I didn't like the guy. I didn't like, and David Moyes, I didn't like them. They didn't do that well.
Louis van Gaal,
sorry.
That's all right.
But they, as a person, were a good fit for Man United.
Yeah, they exuded that kind of temperament.
They understood the culture, the club, and they would hold that in high regard in how they conducted themselves in that position. Mourinho don't give a shit. This man, I've never known a man not to give a shit about anybody. He will slag the chairman, it's all about me. Like, Pogba is a World Cup winner. What other club would that man not be fucking put up on a big platform? They would be lauding him up. If he was at Arsenal, he'd be club captain.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Yeah. Even if he weren't, when he came back, they'd be like, because you now won the World Cup, we're giving you club captain.
Yeah.
You deserve it. And well fucking done. And I might talk about it too much to the point everyone's bored of me saying it. Oh, Paul Pogba, he's World Cup winner. You know what I mean? Like, they probably get annoyed at me talking about it. But that's my point. It's like Mourinho, is annoyed that he's got a World Cup winners and the limelight's off Mourinho.
Yeah.
Because now it's like you've got someone bigger than you there.
It's true, and I think the recruitment is so questionable because I feel like all he's missing is a ball-playing midfielder who can actually get the ball to Pogba quickly, and then Pogba can do the rest in terms of finding the next pass. But United they've got these players who are just not very good on the ball. Matic, and then new guy Fred. What does he really do? What kind of player is he? Is he a box-to-box player? Do they need a
it's just
player like him?
I don't get them all coming together. I agree. I don't get how they always come together. Doesn't quite make sense. It's all a bit clumsy. They've got mishmash of players.
I see who's. I watched it the other night and I thought, you know what? This guy is so overrated. The guy who played for England in the midfield three. He escapes me.
Lingard.
Yeah. Oh my God. All respect to the fella,
Yeah.
I mean, I just think.
But is that at United? Because I agree. I was surprised he started in England. But I got to give him credit. He done half decent in the World Cup.
He did a good job.
I question: is it in the United system that these guys are looking like not all that? Because he just doesn't let them fully express themselves.
Well, he hasn't got a goal in the last 15, 16 games.
But I don't think he's got near the goal. But United just don't and ironically, sometimes you see Lukaku and he scores a couple of goals. You think, God, I'm not being funny. This guy is a good striker, right? And everyone thought when they signed him, right, you've just signed him. Then you get Pogba. You think, right, these guys are going to be strong. But it's almost like somehow Mourinho is sucking the life out of these players.
Yeah, still.
Right, that these players are top boys and somehow he's sucking the life out of them. So I just think, you know what, as far as that's happening, I don't really care. Let Mourinho stay there as long as he wants. He let him fuck it up because United ain't winning shit. As far as I can see, they're not a threat. The teams that are going out there attacking and have found the balance between attack and defence, like Liverpool and City are way ahead, and even Chelsea, way ahead of them in terms of the strength they have as a team. And United got a lot of United got a lot of catching up to do. So, you know what that means?
Well, we got to wrap it up.
We're going to have to wrap it up because the computer's saying so. I bet you didn't think the bell's going to go off when we set that up.
No. It's one of your
latest creations. Yeah. Football DNA. It's like the full-time whistle. That's what they do.
Final whistle.
Final whistle. No, we're not changing the name.
No.
Take a poll? No, we'll do a poll after. All right, well, look, it's been good talking age, so we're going to wrap up.
Peace. We do. Yeah,
next show.
I think we nailed it.